Hello, everyone. I'm Teresa. Welcome to episode 12 of Fresh Paradigms. COVID-19 transformed our lives so much that it brought us the fears of health and loss of income because of the need to isolate while we wait for solutions. What fascinated me most are those facing head on the fears of becoming an entrepreneur. So, my guest today will be sharing her journey. Friends, let us welcome Kathy, shop owner of Sundays with You in Etsy.
Hi everybody.
Welcome to Fresh Paradigms, Kathy.
I'm
I'm
so
so
excited.
glad. I'm so excited. I'm so glad you came. Thank you so much for gracing our show. I'm just excited to hear your story. There are two things I really love about your journey of being an entrepreneur. First, vintage goods, sustainability,
Hmm.
and good for the planet.
Yes, correct.
And second, Etsy.
Yeah.
You're using the marketplace, the e-commerce, the marketplace as your storefront.
Hmm.
So you're not taking the brick and mortar store, but
No.
you're using. Yeah. What is that? Sustainability. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yes, it's like
it's
I
good.
I mean, not right now, not everything on the store is 100% vintage, so but I eventually want to go that route. Because some of the stuff I'm just selling is just my own stuff. So but yes, I love vintage everything. I like antiquing. I like all of that stuff. So,
So, how did you start? What inspired you to create this business? How did you start this business?
well, I've always kind of liked thrifting. I remember I used to go to thrift stores when I was younger with like my mom, but back then it wasn't as trendy as it is now. And yeah, I have like a very intense obsession with thrifting. Like right now in my life, it's really the only thing that sort of like brings me joy to do. I can spend hours in like a thrift store. Like I went to one yesterday and it was like I was there for like 3 hours. Just like I go through every single rack and it's just like it's one of those things where when you find that like really unique piece, it's
Uh-huh.
like hunting for treasure to me. Like it's just like when you find something with like a really nice detail or something that speaks to you, it brings me a joy I can't even describe. It sounds
Who
so lame when I
inspired you to
say it,
be?
but it's really true.
Is it who inspired you to have this kind of business? Is it your mom or
No, well, I follow a lot of like vintage accounts on like Instagram. Um and when I used to go thrifting, I would find a lot of pieces that really like spoke to me or I really liked, but they like either there would be something wrong, like like it wouldn't be my size, or it wouldn't be something that I realistically had anywhere to sort of wear to.
uh-huh.
So I kind of was like, it would be really cool to like someone would appreciate this piece. I know I can't wear it, but somebody would. And I didn't really think of it as a business at first, but then
Uh,
I started like following all these accounts on Instagram, and then I realized that it's a viable business, that a lot of people that are it's a really big community. And yeah, that's one of the things I also I started watching during quarantine, especially. I started watching like a lot of people take it's like YouTubers go on thrift trips, and they like basically record them going on thrift trips. And I used to get so excited. I would spend hours watching these videos of other people thrifting, and then realize that I definitely could make it into a business.
oh,
And it's also like I'm fortunate enough to have a few people in my life that are also starting like businesses or, doing something like having a side hustle or something, and watching them also sort of go through their journey is also really inspiring to me. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of what sort of got me onto this.
When did you start? First, why Sundays with you? Where
Okay,
did you get
so
that name? It's so catchy.
like I don't like the name actually took me a really long time to sort of figure out. So I love the 90s. Like the 90s, like music, fashion, culture, everything about it is like I grew up in the 90s, so it has a special place to me. And I kind of wanted, when I was first trying to figure out a name, I was really trying to sort of get that 90s vibe across in like the name. So I was using things like mixtape or mix CD and trying to like, I have like lists and lists of just like words that I wanted, like keywords that I wanted in like my name. And then I realized when I was like trying to do that is that I wanted, it's not necessarily the 90s that I wanted to sort of um represent. It's like that feeling I get when I think about the 90s, and sort of like like very chill and very like just like the feeling you get. Like Sunday was like a word that I used so often. Like I had it in different sort of like situations for the name, but
Uh-huh.
just like that feeling of a Sunday with anybody
Uh-huh.
that you love, your family, your friends, your significant other, just like that feeling of just, just like a relaxed day doing things you love. Like that was the kind of like feeling that I wanted when
And do,
I
and do you always do your thrifting on a Sunday?
no, I
Is that
wish.
the reason why there's a connection on
I
Sunday?
would
Because
I'm gonna maybe try and do something where like Sundays when I do like the drop, like when I add the new clothes or add something to the site, or do something special or something like that. But like I haven't really gotten to that point yet. So
how does it work? I mean, can you walk us through how does it work? Your business.
well,
When did you start first?
like I've been sitting on this idea for actually a really, really long time. Like probably over a year, I've been wanting to sort of start the business. Like I've been
Uh-huh.
thinking about it and talking to my friends about it, but I just only really launched it like on November 22nd, because
Not
I'm
even a
kind of
month?
like a perfectionist in the way that like I'm like I needed the name to be perfect. I wanted the logo to be perfect. I needed everything to be perfect. And then I just kind of had to like take it back and just be like, okay, you just need to start first of all, like just do it. Um
What pushed you to go through with it? I mean, this is the COVID times. What pushed you to go beyond the fear of starting this business?
well, COVID actually, like it's funny because it actually gave me sort of like the the time and the discipline with like all of the lockdowns and not being able to sort of like hang out and see my friends. It actually gave me the time and the opportunity to like sit down and like start things. Because before, after work, because I have a full-time job, after work I would be either really tired or I'd be spending time with friends or going out and doing things, because I don't like to stay at home. I used to not like to stay at home. Now I love staying at home, but like I used to like to go to museums and like just go shopping and stuff like that. So that's where a lot of my time went to. But with the lockdowns and all of that, I had, it was kind of like, okay, this is your push. Like you need to sit down and do all the things that you need to do. So it gave me the time to like, like photograph the clothes the way I wanted to, and and talk to people about like their how they started their businesses. And it just kind of gave me that time and that focus.
Do you have a partner
I do
doing
not.
this business?
I am
You're by
I am
sir.
a one woman show. But
Bravo.
maybe one day, if things sort of like get bigger and better, then maybe.
Why why put it in Etsy, not Amazon or anything? Why particularly Etsy?
I'm
Why
not
did you
sure why Etsy in particular. I know Etsy is like a platform that a lot of people use. So I know that it has the traction, it has the traffic for what I'm looking for. Um, but yeah, like because I know I use Etsy for to search for stuff. I've never really like bought secondhand on it, but I know it has like a large community and a following on there that sells secondhand. So, and I've seen like some of the people that I follow on Instagram also sold on Etsy. So I just, at this point, because they don't really charge like a monthly fee or anything like that, I thought that would be like the best sort of route to go without spending too much.
so
So yeah, so I just decided, and I kind of like, it was also one of those things where I'm like, I don't have the time to sort of like research, because I wanted it to just like to
push
just
it?
go and do it. So I was like, okay, just do it on Etsy. You can all, there's no contract, so you can switch if you need, if I needed to. So
Oh,
yeah.
so for a person who doesn't know what is Etsy, what is Etsy?
So Etsy is a platform where people can sell like handmade or vintage goods. A lot of people who do things like handmade or like custom stuff, they sell through Etsy,
Mhm.
and people can sell secondhand. So it's, the process is you kind of like put all your stuff up. There's like a small fee to put your to list all of your items, and then they take a portion of whatever you sell. But it does have sort of like a large base that can search for you and things like that. So
So
yeah,
it's very legit.
it's a legit company.
Legit. That's really legit. I believe they're in the stock market now. Yeah, it's right. It's a
That I
public
have no
traded
idea.
company. Yes,
I don't
yes,
know.
yeah, yeah,
But
yes.
that's good.
Oh,
It's good for them.
that's good. So,
Yeah.
how do you do your listing? How do you walk through your how do you sell? I mean, if I'm a customer, I go to your site. How do I buy something from your shop?
Well, everything is sort of like, there's like photos. I take multiple photos of everything. I try and get like all of the details in different photos, and I put those up. And then there's always like, you have to fill out sort of like a description of the item. So, you know, what category of clothing is it in? So you would pick like, it's in women's sweaters or women's coats. And then it'll ask you different things like, does it have pockets, and when was it made, and that sort of stuff. And you fill that out, and there's like a description box. So in the description, I try my best to sort of be like, you can pair this with a nice skirt, and, you know, try and give people like an idea of what they could use it for. And then I'll
So,
like also list if there's any imperfections, because it is secondhand stuff. So sometimes there's minor holes or like pilling or something like that, that I just sort of try and list and be upfront about it, so the customer knows that that is the condition that it's in.
so uh, let's go back to Etsy. So this is sort of your storefront, right? This is your store
Yes.
online, the
Yes, for
marketplace.
now, yeah.
So how do you integrate the COVID protocols when you sell your goods? Uh, how how do you integrate them? How do you take care of the buyers?
Well, everything, when I get everything, I wash it. I clean it. I put all like I usually I'll hand wash the sort of more delicate items, and then machine wash everything else. But I've got a bottle of Dettol, the alcohol based stuff to sort of like kill any germs. I've got all the stuff. So I definitely try and clean everything before I send it out to my customers. It's all like after I bring it home and wash it, I'm the only one that's sort of like interacting with it from that point. So, and it's all kind of like in one section of my room, so it's not really getting any other exposure. But yeah, everything is cleaned up when I get it. So I try
So do
my
you
best to.
so do you have a supplier that you get all your stuff, or you're the one sorting
No,
everything?
I am the one. I go to Value Villages usually because that's the most accessible thrift store to me. And I don't really have like a client base. Like my client base is my friends. So when I go in, I'm kind of just looking for stuff that I like, which I know from like a business standpoint isn't the smartest, but because I don't really have a following yet, I kind of just go in and find things that sort of like speak to me, or I like the details of it, or I, you know, think it's a cute piece that someone would like. So that's, yeah, I'll go in and I'll start from one end and I'll try to work my way. I will try my hardest to go through every single rack, because it's the magic of thrifting is really like you need to take the time to sort of go through everything, because it's always like the really special pieces that are like hidden, because there's a lot of stuff that is not good when you go thrifting. It
So
takes a
how
lot
many
of time, but I really enjoy it. So that's why, like I said
how
earlier,
many
it's like
hours
hunting
are
for
you
treasure.
doing thrifting
Sorry?
to get how many hours are you doing thrifting to be able to get the real
Like I said, like I spend
selection?
like usually it's like a minimum of like 2 hours. But I can spend like, if I have like a snack in my bag and some water, I could spend the entire day there. Like, yeah, I'm usually really tired at the end where like, you know, my arms hurt. I've gained a bit of arm muscle from thrifting, just like going through everything. But yeah, like I enjoy it. So that's why.
So for example, you're listing in a week. So how long will it stay in Etsy? Is it only per week and then you change another sets of collection?
No, I leave them up, because if someone new comes to the site, then and I still have items, so the way Etsy works is when you put it up, they charge you a fee, and every 4 months, if it's still there, the fee gets renewed. So I would just keep it up until somebody buys it.
Oh,
Yeah.
but this is a one of a kind. So if it's sold, it's sold.
Yes. Like I rarely ever find double of anything I purchase. So yeah.
Ah. Does anyone hold a merchandise in Etsy? Let's say if I order a jacket, can I
Mm-hmm.
hold it for a couple of days?
Well, usually on Etsy, because it's like a legitimate site, you're paying for it. So you put it in your cart. If you put it into your cart, it doesn't hold it for you. Like you have to actually purchase it, and then it basically gets taken off
From
of
your listing?
from my listing. Yeah.
Oh, what if I don't proceed to the next page? I don't pay. I'm just holding the merchandise. So
Then
that
Teresa, you do
merchandise
not
is
get the
there.
item.
Can you
You
still
can see,
sell
if
it
you go onto Etsy, you can see it'll say like there's only one of this item and it's in 3 people's carts. So you can see that like 3 people, because there is actually an item that is currently in 3 people's carts, but we're not going to talk about that today. But yeah, so you can see whose cart it's in, but if they haven't actually paid for it, anyone can scoop it up. So you can't
Wow.
hold it, Teresa. You gotta get it. Don't do that. Don't put it in your cart and then leave, Teresa.
Wait, what, how do you consider vintage items? How, at
So
least how many years to be
it has to
considered
be at
vintage?
least 20 years old to be vintage. So a
Oh,
lot of the times when I get stuff, you have to basically, I can tell by like the tag or like the actual style of it or like the details, because some things I don't know for sure. And I was reading about this. I'm like, how do I make sure I'm not, you know,
yeah,
scamming
yeah.
people? And they're like, you can tell when an item's vintage by like the number one sort of indicator is like the tag, which is true. Like you can look at a tag, and then sometimes things don't have tags, so you just kind of have to like look at like the details on it and the wear and tear of it to kind of figure out if it's vintage or not.
Oh.
But yeah, I always get nervous. I'm like, is this vintage? What if it's only 19 years old?
Hey, can you show us some of your vintage goods?
Of course. So I have some stuff that is already on the site, and I'll show you some of that stuff, and then I'll also show you some stuff that isn't up yet.
Oh my!
I know. I haven't. I just bought it recently, so I haven't. So I'll start with, I don't know if this is, I know the lighting isn't the best, but so can you see me? I don't know if you can see these properly.
Yes.
I bought these two like mock neck sweaters, and when I go in, I'm again like trying to really look for things with like nice sort of details. So with these like sweaters, so these are up on the site if anyone is interested, but these ones I liked because they have these little like pearl, like faux pearl details on it, and I just thought they were like so pretty.
Yes,
and
I love the color.
Really, sorry?
I love the color.
Yeah, because pastels are in right now, and then there's this one that has like the little pearls on like the collar and the little front detailing. And yeah, I also was like, oh, the colors are really nice and they're super on trend. So that's that. I have this, which is one of like, I contemplated keeping this shirt because I just think it's so pretty. But I'm also like, I have nowhere to wear it to. So like, I don't have like a fancy job to sort of wear it to. But it's basically this like really nice flowy shirt, and it's got this like, oh, I wish I should have probably worn it to like show everyone, but it's got this shoulder, like this beaded shoulder detail that I just thought was so pretty. I was like, what is this?
Hey, how much is that when you sell them?
This one is I believe I listed it for $40.
How do you do your pricing?
So what I usually try to do is get back, like make double what I paid for it. Unless I think, because the thing is like, apparently thrift store pricing, it's gone up a lot since it's become a lot trendier. So like the prices at the thrift store sometimes can be a little bit outrageous. And sometimes I have to like walk away from an item because it's not like, I'm not going to be able to make a profit off of it. Like sometimes I see really like plain shirts and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. But like at the thrift store, they'll be charging like $13 for it. And I'm like, well, I can't sell it for double that. Like no one's going to buy it for double that. So I kind of have to figure, like I literally have to sit there and be like, can I sell this for this amount? I usually try and go. Plus I also like, you know, Etsy does take like fees and stuff. So I try to sort of like incorporate those as well. But yeah, that's usually the rule of thumb. I sort of I want to make double what I paid for it.
So what happens to the rest of the merchandise if they don't sell? What do you do with those?
They will sit in my life. They will sit in a corner of my room and just collect dust. I will take photos of them and they will sit, Teresa. They will sit.
Kathy.
I don't really know. Again, like I just started this like a month ago, so I don't really know what's gonna happen to those other clothes. Maybe I'll give them away. Like if someone buys something, I'll be like, here, you can have this shirt. But I don't know yet. Don't don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I also have, I'm not done, Teresa, showing you things. Just
yeah.
Are we running out of time?
Bring it on. You have time.
Okay, so
Oh,
sometimes I buy things and I'm like, is this too much? Like, will someone, and I'm like, someone bought it before, someone made it, so someone will like it.
well,
So this is one of the things where I'm like, this might be a hard sell because it's a lot of stuff going on, but I was like, it's cute. Like, it's still,
it is.
right? Do you want it,
It,
Teresa? I'll give you a really good price. But it just, I thought it was so cute. It's like a cropped, it's like an orangey, I know my lighting is so bad, but it's like a burnt orange color. And it's got like, I just really liked these cute little buttons. Look how cute they are. They're
it's
so
so
cute,
pretty.
right? And so that's another thing that is already on the shop if anyone is interested. You can
Oh,
also message me. I
yeah. How do
actually,
we order?
so you can go onto the site through Etsy and buy things, but if you also just like, if you know me or you follow me on Instagram, you can just message me and we can work something out, because also on Etsy it doesn't give you the option for pickup.
Oh,
So I know, like, if like I delivered some things to people who live down the street to me because they paid through Etsy, so I was like, okay, you have to pay for shipping. So you can also slide into my DMs and we can arrange something so that we can do like I take e-transfer as well. So yeah.
and major credit cards too.
Yeah,
Also.
Etsy takes major credit cards. Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, to wrap up things, this is one question I always ask. What would be your advice to those who are starting a business today?
People that are starting, I would say, like, just do it. Just start it, even if you don't think that, you're ready, or just like start it. Like, even if you want to, like I was like this, where I was like, no, I need to make sure that all these details are sort of worked out before. And I wish I'd started it earlier, because you don't want to like waste that time. So just like start it. It doesn't need to be perfect. You'll learn whatever you need to learn. You'll make mistakes, and that's the best way to learn. So my advice would be to, like, if you really want to start something, just start it. Just put it out there. The support and like the love and the money will all come in time. Like, but you gotta start it.
I got a question here. You also
Yes.
do consignment? It's
I currently do not. Just because, again, like, I'm just starting out. So yeah, I don't really have any. I have a couple like designer things, but they're not like really designer things. So I haven't I haven't really done anything consignment yet. Even though on Instagram it says thrift and consignment, but that was just the category that was there. So
I see.
yeah,
So when the time comes, can I do consignment about this? This you said at least 20 years.
20 years. Yeah. All right, Teresa. We'll definitely work something out.
Kathy, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much for
much.
having me,
Thank
Teresa. I
you.
really I really
Thank
liked it.
you. And for everyone who's watching, thank you for sharing your time with us. And I hope you tune in for another Discovery of Small Business. And of course, let's support small business this holiday season, especially
Yes.
this holiday season, right?
Right.
Ah, come on, guys.
Woo!
Sundays with you. So be safe and take care. Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks, Teresa. Bye, everyone.
Bye.